Alright, making a video. DraftScience and such presents. Been a while. I don't even know where the camera is. Yeah, it's like 4 days. Busy, lots of stuff in reality to do lately, so just haven't had time. And there really hasn't been any comments, so nobody else has made any videos worth listening to, so, sorry. The whole thing is just so disappointing that you can't rationally challenge what is incredibly weak evidence by conventional physics for their basic and most fundamental proclamations. The existence of something like a bent space, no energy, no mechanism, some magical it just happens, stuff just moves by the just moves thingy. Magnetism, same dopey explanation. Well, some sort of virtual energy shoots out of the magnet. Where does the energy come from? Well, that's why we call it virtual, because we have no fucking clue. And they really have no clue about how it does attraction and repulsion. That part, no way can they answer. So they have a virtual photon, but they can't explain how it does attraction in one case and repulsion in the other case. Nothing. They have absolutely nothing as a theory. And you assholes just generally defend it. You need somebody to present you with videotape to explain to you, no, that just isn't realistic. It's stupid. Alright, so this is a comment on the Ken Wheeler videos about the ferrocell. So I explained what a ferrocell is. I explained that these little particles are reflective to light, and that they really do, if you look under a microscope, they all line up in radial lines, just like I keep saying, it's a straight line force. Well, they all line up in a straight line, just like little rays. And when the light from the LEDs shines on them, it reflects the light. But each one, is a different little angle. So for the angles to be the same, one little piece reflects from here, and another piece reflects from here, and another piece reflects from here. So each line reflects a little piece of the curved line, and that's why it's curved. And so I explained how the damn thing works, and yet these assholes are still defending the fake science, the fake bullshit that light's bending. The light's not bending. The light's just being reflected off little tiny mirrors. And that's all that's happening. It's revealing nothing, because what it shows you, unless you understand the mechanism, is an illusion, like a mirage. It's not really an oasis you're seeing. It's not really, the ground isn't moving. It's the air moving. See, when you understand how it works, you say, oh yeah, that's so obvious. And yet I get this crap from idiots. And, there's no rationality police or judge or judicial system to say, okay, this is obvious who's the asshole here. It's the asshole making this useless douchebag comment who doesn't have any challenge to the physics I actually presented, the facts I presented, and instead is just talking shit. And they're gutless cowards to boot who don't make videos. And they ridicule things that are totally irrelevant. So, is this lady smoking a vape pipe for real? It's not a pipe, and it's a nicotine replacement device because you douchebags decided to tax smoking. I mean, if I charged you $20 to take a piss, you would find another way to do it, right? If there was a cheaper 20-cent way to take a piss, then you'd do it. You'd say, fuck bathrooms then, if I got to pay $20. So you find some other way to get your thing, the thing you need. And that's all. This is just such bullshit. So what a fucking asswipe, douchebag, useless pile of shit remark. Fuck you. Till dead, I hope, soon. Useless crap for brains is all you have. Alright, so so I went to his channel. It's got UFO videos. So we know, what? These people are hopelessly clueless. They can't even figure out that doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, the UFOs are spying on us. We're so fascinating. And they have to hide from us. This would be, what a tragedy if they learned about the UFOs and panicked. I think the UFOs would enjoy watching the panic. And so this is the other channel that did the same douchebag remark. Now I think they've got to be the same guy. So yes, they're both useless channels with almost no content, which kind of demonstrates, yes, same douchebag. I mean, the odds of two completely irrelevant, idiotic comments coming on the same video in the same week, it's an older video, yeah, not very likely. I still don't believe you, lady. You know, calling me a lady too for whatever reason. You're a skinhead, huh? Is that it? So you're bald? Is that it? Maybe that's all it is, right? You're so envious. Well, you should go look at my penis pics if you're envious. Okay, I mean, you should go, look around and you can be envious of everything I have, because apparently you're a complete loser by comparison to me. He makes sense. Flower of life is still all I have to say. So whatever that could possibly mean, I don't know. I mean, is it supposed to be a joke? Is it some kind of satire? Is it some kind of poem within a poem, within a haiku, within a something else? What the fuck are you trying to say, you fucking retards? I just don't get it. How can people be this fucking retarded? Why are you watching my videos, you complete fucking retards? If you understand this crap that he typed, please stop watching my videos, because you're fucking retarded. Oh, shit. It goes for the William Gelfield. I think Piro killed your science, brah. So he's being cool, of course in a negative way. He wants to say nigger, but he just knows he can't get away with that. And what did Piro? I'll play Piro's video, some of it. I'll try to play some of it, but you can't really play it. I guess I'll title this video Draft Science versus Drunk Science. Obviously, drunk couldn't compose a rational sentence in the whole fucking video. The first half of the video didn't even have the audio on. I mean, so William, what do you think what's my response to this bullshit comment? Piro did something? What did he do? What can you quote, please? Could you quote one of Piro's sentences or paragraphs that countered a single argument I made? Because I didn't see it anywhere in the video. Oh, pathetic. I would just get rid of this one. I could just hit delete. Yeah, delete. Thank you. And even Flyora's idiot. Sorry, but I mean, this is just so stupid. Okay, there's a YouTube channel called The Science Asylum. Yes, I've done 3 videos in reply to him. 2 of them have been fake Physiker of the Week. So she typed this comment on a fake Physiker of the Week video. I mean, it's just, well, anyway. I think you posted a video a long time ago with a mathematician stating that physics needs a revival. Where the hell did this come from? I thought I saw this comment. Oh, I like your attempt. That's the old comment from last week. Okay. Everything got deleted in between that. All right. Science Asylum. He does physics. No, he doesn't. He just regurgitates what he's been told. Okay, so he just recites from the Bible. Maybe get in touch with him. I did get in touch with him. I provoked a confrontation in the sense that I pointed out how one of his videos sucked. He wrote back, yeah, it did kind of suck. I'm going to do better. Well, obviously, he did worse in the future. But he agreed to have a conversation, in a live room, but then pussied out. And so that's all I can say about him, right? But his physics sucks. It's just conventional physics turned into kindergarten talk. Girl talk, essentially. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just queered up physics. Maybe get in touch with him and to see if you can have feedback. Regards. No, thank you. I mean, thank you for not paying attention. Should I say that? I mean, it only happened a month ago. A little more maybe. The move in between and all that. But yeah, I mean, I'm really not looking for advice, frankly. I'm making an argument. I'm not getting any rational counter-argument. Now, if you have some advice regarding how you get rational counter-argument from people who are pussies and asswipes, fine. But I don't see any of that here. I just see vague references to, oh, maybe you should contact Joe Blow. Yeah, well, maybe you should. Maybe I can give you a bunch of advice in your life. Again, where do I solicit advice in any of my videos? I don't see any place where I'm asking for fucking somebody's help. Shit, unless you can do some experiments. That would be great. Shit. Let's see. I would like to see more videos analyzing the procedures used to take photograph of the black hole object. Well, no, but who can analyze it? So you want me to take, what, a month out of my time to research the 10 steps, okay? There's 10 processes the data had to go through. So first you have to understand how they correlate data from way different dates. You know, data they took Monday versus data they took Friday and all that kind of stuff. Different satellites in different locations, and how they figured out how to make all that stuff look like they were taking it from the same place. But it's a whole bunch of processes they put the data through. So I don't think somebody can analyze it for you. I mean, maybe there is some physicist who understands the processes, but frankly, it's going to have stuff in it that's going to go right over your head. So you're just going to have to take their word for it. It's like the LIGO thing. They just say, well, we've accounted for this, and we accounted for that, and we did this, and we did that, and we know that black holes do this magical thing of creating bent space. You know, they turn their matter into bent space somehow, and blah, 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 all this bullshit. That's all it's going to be made out of. So, I mean, why should it be our job, the critics, to sit there and solidify their explanation? Shouldn't they be able to explain their own physics? And frankly, they can't. And it's just like these entanglement experiments where they're hanging on these tiny differences in output probabilities, you know, where they're expecting it to be 75% and it's 85% instead. And it all based on whether you have, you know, accurate knowledge of what these things do in real life, like what happens because most of the entanglement experiments regard polarization of light photons. And you're saying, well, if you don't really understand how a polarizing filter works, how can you draw conclusions? Right? So what if their perception of how it works is wrong? So whatever. I mean, believe what you want to believe. Like I said, you seem to want to believe them. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. If you think bent space is a good explanation when it provides no energy, the Earth moves and nothing moves it. Nothing. Nothing does. That's the fact. That's their theory. Nothing moves it. There's nothing cited as the mover. There's no mechanism. They think magnets work the same way. Nothing. A nothing force interacts somehow in some magical way that causes attraction and repulsion, but they don't know why it's attraction or repulsion. They don't have any mechanism distinguishing between attraction and repulsion. All they have is photon, virtual photon. You think that's good enough? I can't help you. I react to that crap as what I think it is, crap. And I did right from the start. Like I said, as soon as they started talking about photons in fields, vibrating fields, I said, what fields? What are you talking about? How does the vibration do all this stuff without some force acting on it? Newton says something can't go this way and then go back this way and then go back this way and then go back this way unless a force acts on it. Where's the fucking force? You know, snakes make themselves snake. They don't snake by magic. They snake because muscles have to contract and expand. A real thing has to happen to do this shit. You can't just say it does this shit. Now, you apparently says, yes, you can do that, because I'll fall for it, okay? Because you're a super dupe, I have to sit there and go to this extraordinary lengths to explain to you. It's not my job to explain why God is bullshit, even though I can explain to you it's just a story they made up, just like their physics theory. My job is to say, what does the evidence really point to, and what can we rule out? And all I'm saying to you is that to me, it's perfectly rational to say, make it simpler. Do the Occam's razor thing. Come up with the simplest explanation. And the simplest explanation is to look at the world we live in that has shapes and sizes and things, objects, that have properties. These things have the properties. And all of them have these properties, these functions, because of how they're arranged. And we can understand that things get simpler, not more complicated. Like with evolution. You get more chromosomes, not less chromosomes. You get more complication by having more parts. Fewer parts, fewer complications. But if you have a lot of the same parts, you can make very complicated things out of the same stuff. Like potato chip. You know, Mother Mary on a piece of toast. It can happen. Okay. Yeah, just irritating. I would like to see more videos analyzing the producers used to take the photograph of the black hole. So again, they're calling it a photograph. It's not a photograph. So all this is such a pile of crap. It seems, so again, you trust them. They call something a photograph and it really has nothing to do with being a photograph, right? So they start by lying to you, essentially, exaggerating what they did. And you still trust them. Seems to me that is an actual black hole. If that is an actual black hole, the way it's being described, your entire theory has to hinge on them being wrong. Well, my entire theory doesn't hinge on any of this crap, to tell you the truth. I mean, if somebody proved tomorrow that photons are bent by gravity, it doesn't destroy my theory in any way that I know offhand. Let me think. What would be? It would be a force acting on a force. But I could just claim, oh, well, I guess when it's in the form of gravity, it's different than when it's in the form of light or magnetism, because none of those things bend. So I guess the force of gravity is a little different. So I can't say it hinges on that. You're not going to undo my explanation for magnetism by saying light is bent by gravity. So, again, I don't see anything too critical about it. Their entire theory hinges on this crap. Anyway, hinge on them being wrong about the creators of the picture claim it shows. Yes, well, obviously I don't think there's anything called a gravitational wave that gets all the way to Earth and that we can detect. That's just crap. I mean, clearly gravity changes. When two objects are here and here, okay, and you're looking at them, their gravitational influence is different than when they're this way. When they're this way, their gravity is stronger because they're both combining their gravity in a smaller amount of space. When they're separated, their gravity is more diluted. So, clearly, as things rotate, they could create a fluctuating gravitational field. But Einstein knew that fluctuation could never get to the Earth. There's just no chance in hell there would be enough radiation difference for us to be able to detect something that small in terms of a change in gravitational effect. So that's why they came up with all this crap. Howdy, Gary. I usually listen to your channel on mobile devices with not the best speakers, and period. Yeah. Now that you're in your new place, I find that your volume could come up a bit on your end. Now, I really don't know what it is with you people. I mean that you want videos that loud, but I mean, it seems to me that it's around the average, but whatever, fine. I've tried to increase it a little. We'll see how that goes. Thanks. I never miss an upload. Appreciate it. Alright, so that's it. So comments are been a bit thin, 4 days or whatever it's been. So the Puro video, and I really don't want to just hang on this drunk thing, but the video is just so sloppy, incoherent. It doesn't address anything I was saying. He actually talks over me in the video, right? He doesn't pause the video and then make his counter argument. He's making his argument while I'm still making my argument, while I'm still talking. It's just so bad. So we'll play some of this absolute crap. So at the beginning here, there's no point, because he doesn't know that his audio isn't working. So he doesn't comment on the comments very much. So we'll move up a bit more, but I think its audio is still broken.
Believe me, it is. I'll be kind and gentle.
So he's saying something there, right? But he's not audible. So, So, I mean, what? It's only 13 years on the internet, and he still hasn't come up with a system that is actually polite to the listener. In some way. I mean, some way that he even catches stuff like that and says, well, that's just not good enough. I have to do better than that.
Well, but when there is an object, there is a space. And considering you have...
So this argument about the fact that somehow space has properties, nothing has properties, and the somethings need space to provide the properties for the somethings to act on the properties or something. So it's like this can't blow up Say I could put this in nothing, in a field of nothing. And the rule would be it can't explode, right? I can't have a time bomb in there because there's no dimensions for it to fly into until I create a space that has dimensions. The space has to have the dimensions. So if I put this in nothing, space with no dimensions, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's just so, it's so, it's I don't know, the flower seed and the chicken. It's not even a chicken egg and chicken argument. It's like so disconnected from rationality that we'd have to have an argument about properties when all he wants to do is say space is really ether. It's a substance. So we live in a universe that is some sort of cheese. It's a block of cheese. So we're back to like the moon made out of cheese argument. We have to make space out of something. And the only way stuff happens is stuff has to vibrate through the something. And even though we have all the evidence in the world that when that happens in our reality, it spreads in all dimensions and it diminishes in strength with distance. There's no way you could retract it, where you could send out waves in all directions and somehow stop them, erase them, and go in one place instead. I mean, none of it makes any sense. None of it's consistent with what we see in the real world. It's just crap.
Sort of this objectivist fundamental reference point.
Yeah. So again, they call it objectivist when all you're saying is there's one reality. you don't get to subjectively argue about reality. There is one reality. You can either accurately describe it or inaccurately describe it. You can either accurately understand it or inaccurately understand it. And that's all we're arguing about. So there's nothing objectivist about me except I'm saying there's one reality. We're not living in dual anythings. You can either accurately describe the truth, the facts, or you can get the facts wrong. I'm arguing for, in trial, I'm saying this set of facts is solid, your set of facts is crap.
Objectivism. Certainly, the space has to exist for the thing to move into it.
So again, this idea that it's replacing something. No, there's nothing. It doesn't have to replace nothing. It doesn't need more nothing to move into. Nothing is nothing. And that's what space is. It's void. 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 It doesn't need to make it, and it isn't affected by it because it's nothing. Nothing can't hurt it. Nothing can't affect it. It's nothing, and that's what the electrons and the protons are swimming in. They're swimming, they're moving in nothing. And all, in my opinion, the evidence points to that fact.
And claims the space. So there's no need for any mediating capacity to tell me I can go there. The book doesn't need permission from space to go somewhere. How did you argue that? How did you say, no, that's not the truth? I didn't make any argument.
Have colors from the set of colors, and if they're invisible, what if space had the potential to have infinite?
Yeah, sorry. When he talks is pretty. So you can tell he sort of leans into the mic when he talks. So maybe I can catch him.
Things can only be invisible to our eyes. Yeah, that's what it usually.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point I'm making. That this concept of invisibility is just a human subjective kind of thing. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing's really invisible in any real way. It's only in this arbitrary human, it fools the human senses way. Jesus. Such an idiot. Fucking idiot.
Really means.
Clearly, there's lots of things we know that are invisible to one instrument, but another instrument can see it just fine. So if it's already something we know exists, visibility is a kind of a silly notion. It's some property that's not necessarily very relevant, whether or not we can see it or not.
That's what someone is saying, basically. It's like, oh, the apple brings 3 dimensions. Oh, so I could just take this 5-dimensional object and put it up?
Again, there's no...
So again, he's the one who keeps bringing up dimensional objects and then says he only believes in 3 dimensions. So this was another part of this. The conversation was just completely inane. He brings up extra dimensions in his video. I point out how there's no reason to believe there's any extra dimensions, and the clear limitation of the 3 dimensions we know is that they're created by lines. Straight line creates 1 dimension. straight line creates 2 dimensions. A third straight line creates 3 dimensions. Now there's no other way to add a third or fourth straight line and add a dimension. There's no place, there's no more room for it. So clearly the lines created the dimensions, and clearly it's a huge limitation that you can only have 3 of them. Sphere is as big as you can get, so to speak. You can't go more than 360 degrees. You can't, there's not some, I can go 793 degrees or something, because you'd only end up going, redoing the same space again. You can't make new space. You can't make something more volumeless. There's no other way to create a volume that has more volume. I mean, it's just so fucking stupid. And then he accuses me of making dimensions, when every video I've made I'm arguing against any extra dimensions. It's his silly theory that has multiverses and all this mush in them. Again, just the duplicity of this fucker. Amazing.
We have squares and then we have cubes. We have those things. Those things exist. Now you're making up pretend dimensions that aren't, there's no possible rational way to add them. There is no...
I'm not making them up. You were making them up.
Okay, so again, how does this make any sense? I've never suggested there's a 4th dimension called time. I've clearly stated time is just a function and it has nothing to do with dimensionality. It just has to do with the fact that the events that take place in the universe don't happen instantaneously, therefore there's time. That's it. There's no place. There's no location called time.
Something you made up. There's no way to accurately create a 4th or 5th dimension as a physical dimension. There's no geometry for it.
There's no geometry for it because geometry is 3-dimensional.
Yeah, exactly. And it's made out of 3 types of movement in, sequence. Obviously, they could be just redundant, and then there's only 1 dimension. You're just redundantly moving in the same dimension. But, I mean, the whole way it's calculated or perceived is just too human dependent, right? Forward, back, up, down, left, right. That's 6 dimensions. So you could call it a 6-dimensional universe if you were really fair to the physics. So all this is so much is just kind of arbitrary, but those dimensions have a limit. Clearly, it's not something you could just keep adding lines to create. There's no way to add another line and create a dimension. Oh, such an asshole.
No comparison, but clearly I could argue I could take something that's only moving in 2 dimensions, and I could say, well, if it moves in a 3rd dimension, it didn't need somebody else to create the dimension. The dimension was created by its capacity to move.
Well, didn't you say that cars...
Yeah, I was talking about cars driving on the Earth, and I clearly said the word levitation, so I wasn't talking about the fact that cars are 3-dimensional. I was talking about how they move on the Earth. They move in straight lines, forward, back, left, right. They're not allowed to go up, down in terms of levitating. But it's not because, the dimensions don't allow it. No, it's because the physics doesn't allow it, because of gravity and because of other reasons. So that's why. The limitation isn't built into space. It's built into the design of the car.
And then you could give the car levitation capacity, and then you can go into the 3rd dimension.
That's right. You were saying the car is 2-dimensional. Because it goes on the surface of the Earth. Yeah, but it looks a little 3-dimensional.
It doesn't matter. Again, we're talking about how it functions, and it functions left, right, forward, back. It functions. It doesn't make mountains. It doesn't make valleys. It doesn't do all that stuff. It just goes forward, back, left, right. That's what you can steer. You can't steer up and steer down. Retard. Ugh. See, but this is the distraction. He hangs on minutiae that has nothing to do with the subject or nothing to do with the concept.
Oh, again, so what is that, comic rhetoric or something?
Yes, that was comic rhetoric.
Yeah, and so, and how is it funny? Okay, you claiming that you made a good argument or that you proved something or you demonstrated something, you said QED even, like somehow you presented evidence and, let the evidence speak. You didn't do any of that shit. None of it. So isn't that kind of, it's not like funny, it's like rude and obnoxious for you to claim some sort of, I've provided you good reason, when you haven't provided good reason. And then you go on to mock people and call them flat earthers or denialists or some other bullshit when all they're saying is, give me good reason. Give me something called evidence. and you don't have it.
You got me. Oh, and you fell for it, I guess.
Well, I obviously didn't fall for it if I pointed it out.
What would compel me? So you're saying I'm irrational if I don't get how profoundly meaningful your non-existent part?
Yes. Yes, that is what I was saying. It was rhetoric. It was also sincere.
Obviously not sincere. I just pointed out how it was just you're being sarcastic. You're being whatever, satirical or something. You're being funny. And now you're saying, no, I'm not being funny. See, this is your duplicity. And it's just everywhere. Your rhetoric is meaningless because you can never trust it. You're saying anything that's grounded in anything called reason.
You're not rational is what I'm saying, Gary. Because, yes, of course you're going to reject it.
Of course, I'm going to reject not being presented evidence. I'm going to point out how, well, you didn't give me any evidence of bent space. You didn't give me any evidence that dimensions are created by nothing when some things create things. Some things cause effects. Nothing doesn't cause effects.
Sense of any evidence or reason for me to believe it? There's absolutely no reason to believe that throwing this from one hand to the other requires the atmosphere to participate in any kind of substantial way. This just pushes it out of its way. It doesn't need permission to go from here to here. It doesn't need some space to say it's okay. It's just horse shit.
It doesn't need space to go through.
No, there's nothing. It doesn't need nothing's permission. Right, of course. It doesn't go through nothing because nothing is nothing. So, yes, it doesn't go through nothing because nothing is nothing. Can't get in the way. Nothing can't stop you. Nothing can't get in your way. Nothing can't block you. Nothing can obstruct you. Nothing can't do any of those things. You fucking idiot.
To go from one hand to the other, the space in between it doesn't have to...
That's right. I don't have to make a nothing pie to have nothing pie. I can have nothing pie without making nothing pie. There it is. Nothing pie right in front of me. The nothing pie. I don't have to make it. It's nothing. It doesn't require any ingredients, you retard.
Exist or be empty or anything.
So again, this goes back to the whole two-slit thing, and this whole way they do physics, right? I mean, you have the simple, obvious explanation for the phenomenon, right? Especially with the single slit. You keep making the slit smaller, and the effect gets bigger and bigger. Smaller the slit, bigger the effect. What does that tell you when you just think about what's happening? Well, the odds of the photon getting close to a surface go up as I make the slit smaller. As the slit gets smaller, the odds that I go near the surface go up higher and higher and higher, get dramatically higher as I make this circle, especially as I do with a circle. The circumference, as comparison to the volume, gets much more weighty in terms of its influence, so to speak. You know, being in proximity to the circumference, the thing defining the shape. And so, isn't that the obvious place you look first? You say, well, isn't that it's kind of obvious, right? You're making the slit smaller, which means the odds of a photon not going close to a surface get smaller and smaller and smaller, and you have more and more of an effect. Isn't the obvious explanation that the surface is causing the effect? And shouldn't you prove that it isn't true before you start claiming something else is true? They never proved the slit's not doing it, the surface. Where's that proof? Does it exist somewhere? No. They just wanted to wave it. And that's it. They want waves to exist because they want an ether to exist. Period. And why? I have no fucking idea why. Why are you people obsessed with silly fucking waves that don't have any mechanical structure to make them wave? Nothing's making them wave. I mean, we know why water waves. It's tension. The water's in tension. The particles are elastic between each other. If they move apart from each other, they're pulled back together. If they move too close to each other, they spring away. There's elasticity in the mediums. Water not being a great example, just in the sense that you can't compress water, but so it obviously moves into the atmosphere. That's where the pressure. That's why it causes the wave on the surface. It's because it's the only place it can go, because you can't compress the water. In other mediums, you can compress the medium, and so you don't even see the wave. It just travels through the medium.
That's what you're saying. Well, I disagree. I think to throw something from one hand to another, there does have.
That's fine. Look, I don't care if you disagree, but don't claim you've demonstrated. Don't give me this QED bullshit. Don't claim that you somehow made a rational argument defending your ether, because you haven't done that. You haven't provided anything called a reasonable proof.
To be space in between them. And by all normal language.
So he thinks it's normal language to say space really, empty space, the words empty space really means ether. And from the time we were kids, we should have already known that space doesn't mean vacuum, it doesn't mean nothing, it means jello, it means pudding, it means whatever, some sort of medium, força glycol, some kind of goo that things can vibrate through. Bullshit, that should have been my interpretation.
No one would disagree with that. Of course.
Fucking bullshit.
Of course there has to be space open in between. If it's filled, or if there is no space.
Yeah, right. If there's nothing, there's nothing. That's right, nothing in the way. Nothing would not be steel. Nothing would not mean, a stop sign. I mean, it's just retarded to have a conversation with people who are going to claim you're not allowed to conceptualize the idea of nothing. Yeah, I can conceptualize it. I can imagine a field of nothing, a blank piece of paper before you start writing on it. I can imagine blank paper.
Space. If there is no space between the left and the right hand, then the left and the right hand would have to be in the same space.
So again, it's just retarded. So it's not possible to have nothing between them. You have to have something between them, by his bizarre definition.
They'd be at the same place already. Obviously, there's
nothing obvious about it. Again, just you could keep claiming it. I just don't understand, and I don't understand for what purpose. Just because we know so much of this physics doesn't way at work. You can't wave. You can't give. You can go ahead. You can pretend that electrons have a frequency, but we know they don't. I mean, you can't see the flaw of where this wave theory goes insane and preposterous when it starts inventing nonsense and starts saying, okay, because I'm going 60 miles an hour in my car on the highway, I now have a frequency. When I don't have a frequency, quite obviously.
Space between the left and the right hand. Your position is no. Obviously, there is no space between them. Well,
No, I'm saying there's empty space. Again, so the space is supposed to be ether. So just quit saying the word space. If you really think space is ether, why don't you just say that from the first place? Why don't you just declare, every time I say space, I mean ether. I don't mean empty or nothing. I mean something. Space is something, not nothing. Say it.
I think it's pretty much more obvious that there is space between them, Gary.
And space being ether. So if it's so, if you're trying to have some kind of honest argument, why are you playing with the word space? Then why don't you just say ether, and then you can say bent ether. The bent ether did it.
And anybody would say that was thinking rationally.
No, that's a preposterous accusation, because there's absolutely no reasoning to it. To say nothing can't exist. That's basically all you're saying. A nothing can't exist. You can't have nothing in the universe. There's nothing. No, not possible. A real vacuum. There's no such thing as a real vacuum. The vacuum is really just full of pudding.
And it's weak. And if you're too insincere and too dishonest to admit you don't really have an argument, you really can't say it in any kind of rational, reasonable, logical context. This is why you should believe what I believe. Because there is no reasoning to why you believe it. You believe it for some other reason. Not because it's reasonable and rational. You believe it because somehow you want it to be true for some dopey reason. And it's likely a religious reason.
I would like to extend
Projection.
So they did this through half the video. Just said the word projection. again, so where's the religious connection? Where's any possibility of me looking for free will or looking for some special thing by saying that the universe is a mechanical functioning object, just like Einstein? It's a clockwork. It's a mechanism. That's all it is. We're robots. The whole thing is just a spring winding out. And it will wind out as it winds out, and that's the way it is, and that's all there is. So how is that a religion? I'm saying all the evidence points to that. There's just no way to have anything special happen. Nothing special can happen, because for something special to happen, a physical object has to physically poof. You're the one who believes in these poofing particles even now. Their whole black hole theory is now apparently contingent on this idiotic notion that somehow particles pop out of the vacuum and they're entangled, and the black hole sucks one of them in because one of them ends up closer to the black hole than the other one. And so then the other particle loses its entangled pair, and they have a whole crisis in their physics because they're trying to figure out, well, what happens to the entangled particle when its partner disappears into the black hole? And this is somehow a real crisis for these assholes. When they invented the whole fucking thing is made out of just a story. It's a fucking fable. It has no connection, nothing connecting it to reality. A poofing particle they've never seen one happen, never seen it happen ever. Just complete made up crap.
My statement to the fact that
projection.
Everything certainly must be. Again, everything.
So again, the projection is that all the nutters who were ether dependent seemed to always be the religious kooks. So it seemed to be that was in the tug of war between etherists and particleists. The etherists all seem to be on the God side, so somehow ether is godlike, and the particleists all seem to be kind of on the Darwin side, the mechanical universe side. So you're claiming projection, but I think I could demonstrate how no, it's a fair accusation, because the etherists, generally speaking, were religious nuts.
I see isn't wave-like at all. I'm not wave-like. This battery's not.
You're very wave-like.
So again, more crap. No, there's absolutely no feature that you can describe about what I'm doing that has any waves in it. There's momentum inside me. There's stuff moving. There's nothing waving.
Wave-like.
Well, the battery's definitely wave-like. Sending out a current of electricity as...
Yeah, and you're so now he's going to make up some idea that somehow I'm making circular waves or something, or some other kind of bullshit. And there's no evidence for that. There's evidence that rays reflect off things. Rays of light reflect. There's no evidence that a bowl-like light comes in and hits me, and then a bowl-like light reflects off of me. No evidence any of that shit happens. Individual photons come in at one angle, they leave at another angle. We've seen the experiments with the laser beam. The laser beam doesn't do any special thing. It goes, it bends, it reflects, all in straight lines. That's how the fucking photons work. That's their general function. Unless something interferes with them. They're not wave-like on their own.
Waves.
Around me's not wave-like, so what are you talking about? Everything must be wave-like. It's complete.
Everything around you is wave-like.
So his exact statement in the video was everything is wave-like. And again, the argument is none of it is wave-like. And again, the electron is the easiest example I can give you. They shoot electrons. Okay, now you can shoot them at a frequency, and frequency has something to do with the periods because waves have periods, but that's the only thing. The only thing bullets and water waves have in common is an event happens at a frequency, at a period of time. But that's all they have in common. They have nothing in common otherwise. And clearly there's lots of things that have this feature of having a period, but having a period doesn't mean you're spreading or doing anything wave-like. It just means you have a velocity through space, and there's more than one of you. Now, if I just take a single bullet, it has no period. It has no function of a frequency. And the same is true for electrons. An individual electron has no frequency. It just has a momentum. And just through a math trick, because they decided that frequency in light is always associated with its momentum, they've essentially decided to change everything's momentum into a frequency variable. So they've given it a fake frequency to replace its momentum with. So instead of a velocity, it has a frequency because they've made the two terms proportional or equal. And they're not the same thing, and they should be understood as distinctly different things. Frequency is something multiple items have, not single items.
That's why you're in a totally new location.
So more nonsense. So now he's sort of going into the metaphysics that somehow the fact that there are waves in the ocean means that you'll get kicked out of your house. You'll be overdrawn at your bank. That you'll get a wart on your foot. Somehow because there's waves on the ocean, because your parents were butt ugly, you're butt ugly. I don't think so. I don't think those things have anything to do with each other. And I think anybody who thinks they do is a fucking retard.
It's horseshit. I mean, why are you saying something like that when, like I said, I don't encounter this wave-like crap anywhere until you have a fluid somewhere where you have,
I don't encounter this anywhere until you have a fluid like water.
Yeah. One place. I just pointing out how, well, unless you have a medium, there's nothing can vibrate or move through a medium. Yes, mediums are different than empty space, but there's a lot more empty space than there is matter in the universe, and clearly there's lots of stuff moving through that empty space. I don't see any necessary component that says they're waving through space.
Water and, let's say, lakes and rivers all.
And again, a magnet, there's absolutely there's no waves in the magnet itself. There's only waves when you move the magnets, of course. That's the only time you can give it any kind of frequency. So again, it's just such bullshit. But the force itself of the magnet is very consistent, and it has every mathematical appearance of just being rays of force, either attracting or repelling. Straight line rays of force. That's what the evidence indicates. That's what Maxwell's equations point out. I mean, this is just such nonsense to say there's something inherently wave-like happening inside two magnets sitting next to each other. There's no waves happening.
Fuck over in my shower and bathtub.
Yeah.
You've got some wave-like phenomena. It's not so weird.
It's idiotic. I'm just saying, I didn't say it was weird, right? I said this is idiotic. This is an idiotic conversation. You can't tell the difference between me shooting bullets and ocean waves? Then you're really stupid.
Waves are so weird. It's phantasmagorical.
No, it's just wrong. And it's sort of important. You're describing reality, and you're doing it with mush as evidence, with completely contrived and fake nonsense. And again, you're just breaking all language when you sit there and say an electron has a frequency, when you know all it has is momentum. It's moving at a velocity and has a mass, and that's it. There's nothing else scientifically that it has. It has no fucking frequency. You're just making that up. And that's really bad as scientists, when you just make shit up that isn't true. And you know it's not fucking true. Use the word annihilation when you don't mean it really annihilates. Use the word destructive interference when the photon isn't destroyed. I mean, you just keep using words in this wrong and broken manner, and then you pretend that you can mock somebody else for being stupid because they reject your lies.
No, they happen in water all the time.
Yes, as I just pointed out, I don't see any waves except in mediums. That's right. You can list all the mediums if you want. Jello and water and even the atmosphere to some extent. Sound is obviously a perturbation through the medium. It's the atoms moving and compressing against other atoms. Again, but do you think that's how everything functions? Well, no, not even close.
They happen with sound. When you hear something, that's a wave, Gary.
Yeah, because we know how it's produced. Again, it's hitting a whole bunch of atoms. If we could probably make a sound where it only hits one atom, and that atom hits another atom, and that atom hits another atom. Now, would you call that the same thing? I mean, it won't spread like sound. It won't do a lot of other things that sounds traditionally do. So, theoretically, it's, someday maybe it's doable where they can just flick one atom and cause a chain reaction of pressure moving across the atmosphere. It wouldn't have much in common with wave. It would just be atom, compressing atom, compressing atom, compressing atom. Just a chain reaction.
Pressure that moves through it, and in every one of those cases, none of that pressure moves without losing velocity and intensity. Something that doesn't have anything to do with what force does, because force doesn't lose any intensity or velocity. So there's nothing.
Well, the force gets absorbed and it does lose intensity.
So this is the crap, see? So William Gefland, or whatever, claims that this is a good argument. It's just idiotic, right on its face, idiotic argument, right? We know that the force doesn't lose any intensity. The gravitational waves do not lose any intensity with distance. They just spread more because they have to cover more space, more area. So the amount of energy is separated. That's all that's happening. The photons are this close together, and they get this close together and this close together, and so the odds of receiving or catching them in a net, you get fewer and fewer photons at a distance. Now, none of the energy was lost or destroyed. None of it got weaker. But in water waves, the medium consumes it before it ever gets to the target. That was clearly the point I was making, the argument I was making, and that was ignored to pretend to make up some kind of fake argument that somehow photons diminish in intensity when they don't. When the photon arrives, it has just as much intensity as if you were 2 feet away from it. It has exactly the same amount of momentum, the same impact capacity. It hasn't lost anything at all. So this is all just a pile of shit.
Its result loses intensity. I mean, what the fuck are you trying to say? Oh yeah, you're making shit up.
Right, I'm making shit up by logically pointing out that you can't destroy a force. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Yeah, I'm making shit up. No, I'm not making shit up. I'm pointing out how your description of what energy is, you're not accounting for what the actual elements of force are doing, and therefore you're not understanding that your ether would end up consuming the energy of the thing moving through it. That there would be a drag problem that you're ignoring.
And we're only 20 minutes into an hour. Well, you'll probably finish with my part, and I could finish with you.
Now that's made sense to somebody. Obviously, drunken incoherence. Jump ahead a little bit.
In some situations, and something that looked like a circle in other situations, then you would assume that the real phenomena was a sphere, and the special case, or
so this is his retarded argument that this Flatlander thing of going from 2 dimensions to 1 dimension, you cut a sphere through, a plane, that it gets bigger as you go deeper into the sphere. Of course it does, but that's a round ring. You have to make this a parallel to the 2-slit experiment or the single slit experiment, and the only thing that does that is Newton's rings, which is exactly my point. It makes a ring. So again, you're losing the argument. You can't retract photons. They're actual photons that went to all the ring positions. One photon doesn't create the ring. Individual photons go to the different locations. Single photons. One photon doesn't make a ring. So again, there's no evidence of each photon being a ring. There's evidence that individual photons bend a different angle and go to a different location. That's what the evidence indicates, that single photons bend and go to a location. There's absolutely no indication that if I shoot one photon, I'll get a ring. So it's just a horseshit argument, because there's absolutely no evidence a single photon will create a ring. So you can't use this analogy. It's junk, garbage, shit. So enough of that. We'll move ahead.
Potential photons. So yeah, it looks like a ripple, and there's a cross section, which is a slice of the ripple at an orthogonal 90-degree angle.
Yeah, to slice at a 90-degree angle. So somehow you're going to make sense out of that. No. And again, there's no evidence that photons make shapes, single photons. They land in a location completely and are absorbed by an electron. That's how we detect them. They have to be absorbed by an electron. An electron has to absorb the momentum. And that's all. The only way we know a photon exists is its momentum has to be transferred to an electron. and then we have to amplify that effect on the electron by having a bunch of pressurized electrons next to that electron so that they all end up cascading in terms of collapsing their pressure.
You don't, this, you didn't already know this?
Yeah, there's nothing to know. Like I said, he's the one who's clueless. You can't use this argument that single photons create circular patterns, because they don't.
3 dimensions. You know, that it's actually waving in 3 dimensions. So there's a bunch of energy going in all kinds of directions, but the photon never lands in any of those locations. It always just lands in one location. So even though it dispenses a bunch of energy going to a bunch of places, it never goes. Which doesn't make any sense.
Again, this idea, this is the physics they want you to believe. They want you to believe that somehow photons are affected by the slit in some dopey way where the photon spreads its energy in all kinds of directions, but ends up going just to one spot. So somehow it spreads its energy to spots it won't go to. It never really lands at any of those places. So it travels right to the driveway, never visits, just drives back home somehow. Pretends it never happened. The car divides into 1,000,000 cars, and then all the other 999,000 of the cars just disappear. So the car ends up in one place. That's what they want you to believe, and that's what they call physics. And they're going to compare that to being a Darwinist, where you have a ton of evidence indicating our origins, the facts of evolution, and they're going to compare this preposterous, made-up, mushy story as if that's science. It's made up shit. It sounds like garbage. It is garbage. It's no evidence for it. It's just a kid story. This is something a little kid makes up. A retarded little kid.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it's the part where it looks like it's a cross section. What goes out?
So again, there's no cross section of a photon. Single photons don't make cross sections. Single photons don't make patterns. Single photons don't do any of that shit. Single photons land in a location. Now, it's just horse shit to imply they do anything else. You're just a fucking liar.
Out is this one pattern, and what we see in terms of a speck of light is this cross section.
So again, there's no cross-section of a photon. We don't see a cross-section of a photon. We see a little tiny location lit up by the photon. One electron is excited by the photon's impact, period. That's all. Our eyeball needs, and it's not even a photon, right? It's a string of photons. It needs a ray of photons to even receive a photon in our eye. Our eye can't see rays that are too short. If the ray has only 3 little quanta in it or something, we won't see it. It has to have at least 5 or 6. Those are the rules. That's what lights a pixel. It needs enough energy.
As if that's why some people say we're in a multi-dimensional.
Oh, so now he's defending multi-dimensional universes by saying that you spherically cut your 3-dimensional sphere into 2 dimensionals, and that somehow proves there's a 4th or 5th or 6th dimension. No, it doesn't do any of that shit.
Space.
At all. That somehow you can, whatever, send your signal through your medium for free. Okay, it doesn't cost you any energy. On top of that, your medium
Sounds good.
will allow you to sample all locations and then somehow decide which location you're going to go to. Yeah, well, that's your bullshit. By some magical mechanism where the photon creates a copy of itself to interfere with and then decide where it's going, which doesn't make any sense. And again, decides based on a probability equation where somehow it has to know what it did all the other times it did it. How does it know? Does it roll dice to decide? Does it flip a coin to decide to get the probabilities right? What device does it use to figure out how to get these probabilities correct?
So no response from here, right? One of the valid arguments being made here is, you're going to claim a probability. Well, probabilities have to be created by variables in the circumstance. When you roll dice, there's variables in how the dice hit that create the probabilities, that even them all out, because you have so many variables and none of them will be matching at the same time, so that it's always going to look random. It's always going to look chaotic when it's not really chaos, but it's going to look that way. They're all going to be blended together and you're going to end up with a result that will be unpredictable because of the number of variables. It's a mechanical system, all right? And so if you're going to give the photon probability, you have to explain the mechanical system. You have to explain that, yeah, the wheel has a certain amount of energy and it's actually going to spin a certain speed and a certain amount of momentum, and then it's going to run out of momentum by strict laws, and that's where the ball is going to fall in. There's strict rules, and they don't have any rules for this magical photon bullshit. Where are all these variables that are turning it into a randomized result? How does the photon know? How does it randomize the outcome?
No, in waterways, the device used is for...
I would argue what's randomizing it is the fact that we can't aim the photons. If we could aim the photons, this conversation would be over. If I could shoot photons every single time right through the center of the slit, I'll guarantee you get one spot at the end, that you won't get huge amounts of deflection. And it's only because we can't shoot straight that the photon ends up going close to the surface, then in the middle, then this close, then that close, and it's randomized by the fact that our gun can't shoot straight. Period.
Fatigue. The reason why there's more light in the center and less light as you go out further is fatigue. There's less energy. That's why there's less light.
I say here, I mean waves. In waves, there's less momentum, I should have said.
With so when you shine light,
Less waves, and I meant to say, obviously...
Fatigue. You mean how organized energy information is?
So organized energy information. So he doesn't understand something slowing down because of friction. And a medium, all right, has friction. It has its tension, and its tension is going to absorb the energy. You're not going to have a lossless spreading of the energy in all directions and be able to pull all that energy you use to go in all directions. You can't pull it back. So you lost it. That's what happens in water waves. The energy is dispersed and therefore lost. Each individual bit of pressure, each atom as it's pressurized, spreads its pressure, and as you go longer distances, that will consume, in terms of wrong directions, your energy.
How it is dampened into, like friction and things, into it's turned into noise. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is that every other medium is connected to some other medium. So you've turned everything into ether. So that means that the jello is connected to the pudding, is connected to the blah blah, and they're all got ether inside somewhere. And so the point is all these mediums, like when a wave is made, it has to fight gravity. When a wave is made, it has to push the atmosphere out of the way. Lots of things have to happen, and they create loss. Heat is created by all of this movement and all of this stress. And there's actual energy lost by the atoms.
Oh yeah, you don't understand physics. You're not talking about anything.
Right. So it's not talking about physics to understand how in moving systems, especially complex systems, there's often, if not always, a thermal equilibrium problem where you're going to lose energy in creating that movement. That very few systems are lossless. Bullet in space, maybe.
I'm not quite as a wave. But in water waves, the reason why the probabilities created in that pattern, those probabilities are created because the amount of energy going those longer distances is less energy.
through a slit, you see diffraction.
So you don't see it in waterways in the sense you don't see, yes, you see diffraction in the sense that you see a wave front. You put a wave in, the wave continues to do what it was doing before it got to the slit, which is spread, and weaken. Now, in light, all you see is a photon land at a specific location. You don't have any explanation for how you decide that you're going to make two photons with one single slit. and it's completely arbitrary. They just invent a fake middle. So it's like they're saying that a million of something is going to be created, right, in a confined.
All right, so I won't bother playing this over again. He doesn't respond to the point being made that it's clearly and obviously just made up. The idea that there's a single slit, and they're saying because there's two sides to the single slit, that the photon wave turns into two waves. Now we know in water waves that doesn't happen. There's just one wave that comes out of the single slit. That's it. There's not two waves, and there's certainly not two waves centered on the middle. Now in photons, they create an arbitrary reason to create the center, and that gives them the right to create two waves that are focused on that center. There's no mechanical reason to believe that happens. There's no mechanical explanation for why a photon going through any part of the slit would create two identical waves that would bisect the slit. There's no mechanism. There's nothing. They just say that's the way photons do it. All right? But it doesn't fit waves, water waves. It doesn't fit waves in any medium anywhere. No medium wave that we can make ever does that. So, I mean, it's just a garbage explanation, and he has nothing to offer as an explanation except to just pretend to talk about, well, there's two surfaces and the wave, what's the word he used? Coherency or something. It goes incoherent. Some kind of something like that. Well, I'll play some of it. Just mush.
So tiny, the finite amount, that it follows the mathematics of continuity, except for when you get down to this tiny size. And, those are adjustments you can make to the calculation.
So this is an argument where he's trying to pretend they don't mean infinite when they say infinite. Now, it has to be infinite if you're going to create an identical wave in the front, and that their theory sort of has to do. See, the problem is if you create a wave that's not perfect with your million new little lumpy waves, well, then that'll show up as you have more and more waves or more Huygenses happen. As the Huygens wave propagates, it will lose a percentage of its coherency with each wave. And so if it isn't infinite, if you don't create an infinite number of little waves, you won't create a straight wave. You'll create a lumpy wave, and the lumps will get bigger and bigger and bigger the further the wave goes. And we have no evidence that with distance photons get lumpy. So that doesn't work. So he's pretending they don't mean infinite when clearly the reason why they said infinite is because they have to have it to create a straight wave. So again, this is just such bullshit. So here he is trying to reinterpret their garbage and say, no, they don't really mean infinite. They just mean Planck. Well, Planck won't do it. Planck won't fix their problem.
But basically, the water wave is, since there's so many trillions of molecules, from our frame of reference, the continuous math.
Right. So in water waves, it doesn't create two waves. Water doesn't just break in two for no reason. It's just one wave with two sides that are by friction causes the wave to have an arc to it because the water moving across the surfaces is slowed down, causing the wave to bulge. That's it. There's no magic to it in water waves. And here they are making up this story that somehow not only that photons bulge the wave because of friction with the surface somehow, but even worse than that, they're going a step further and saying, no, photons also create two, like breasts, two waves, where there's absolutely no reason for there to be two waves. No mechanical reason whatsoever for two waves to pop out of the one slit. So there's no comparison to water. There's no comparison to any waves we know of ever doing that, going through a slit and creating two waves. It just doesn't happen. Unless you put noise in, you'll get noise out. But it just doesn't happen under any normal condition. And they're just contriving this whole story, just making up this crap that it's just like waves, when no, it's nothing like waves. Well, it's not in any way substantially like waves.
Proves quite accurate.
So again, more crap. There's nothing proved quite accurate. Obviously, yes, you've contrived your math to fit your bullshit explanation and vice versa. But none of it makes any sense as a physical mechanical device. It doesn't work. It doesn't make any physical sense.
Good reasoning is believing in the story of the infinite number of little waves. That's not good reasoning. It's certainly not good physics.
Interference, you see a wave phenomenon whenever you shine a bright light.
No, so whenever you do that, you don't see a wave interference pattern. Again, as I've argued with the radar experiment, you can use exactly the same geometry and recognize that, no, the only thing you did was jam the two signals. You jammed the radio. And that's why you have places where there's silence. And then
Jamming the radio where there's silence is a wave phenomena. You don't get...
So again, it's a wave phenomena. Yeah, no, it really isn't a wave phenomena. It's just a frequency and a phase phenomena, but whatever. I can do it with bullets. I can do it with anything. Okay, I could shoot a metal plate with bullets, and if the metal plate can only receive specific impact frequencies of the bullets, and so I shoot bullets from this direction, I shoot bullets from this direction. Well, if I shoot the bullets from this direction out of phase with the bullets from this direction, then the little meter will think the frequency is twice as high, because it'll be getting the impacts out of phase, and so there'll be twice the frequency. Just like on a rope, I'll have twice as number of waves if I increase the velocity of the rope. That's all. That's all that's going to take place. There's no magic here whatsoever. Again, no bullshit that it has to be waves. It's a wave phenomenon. No, it's a frequency phenomenon. Phase is a frequency phenomenon. It's not just waves. It's anything at a frequency has a timing phase. Pulling on a tug-of-war rope, anything can have a timing phase. Pushing a car out of the mud. It's not a wave phenomenon. It's a momentum phenomenon.
Get that, but that's absolutely what it is.
So it absolutely isn't what it is. The things are different. The words are specifically different. That's why they exist as different words, because they're describing uniquely different things, specific things, exact things. And you're turning it all into mush. You're just saying, let's make every word the same. Love is the same as hate. And, blah, blah, penis is the same as vagina.
There's no other way. You don't...
In your case, yes.
If you jam a radio signal with positive particles, then it's going to be...
What sense does that make? Positive particles as opposed to what? Negative particles? What are you talking about?
Saturated at...
This is drunk, right? I mean, he's not this stupid. So obviously his brain is... where the fuck am I exactly? What am I doing? Video?
Maximum volume. That's how you would jam it.
Yeah, volume. Maximum volume. That's how you would jam it, right? It has nothing to do with jamming. Well, it can, but I mean, it has nothing to do with jamming, as specifically pointed out in phase jamming. And that's what this is. This is phase jamming. You want to jam a radio station on your radio. All I have to do is stand outside with another transmitter that's transmitting out of phase with the signal you're hearing, and I've jammed it. You're not going to receive your signal anymore.
And we're talking about jam, which is definitely a way you can jam a radio signal. But
my specific point was it's exactly the same geometry, the same mathematics. That's what I made the claim. And he's just trying to say, no, it's exactly the same as wave interference. Well, it's not exactly the same. It's completely different, and it's completely different on the limitation that the antenna is a stupid receiver. That is, it can't differentiate. So all it knows is it's getting hit. It doesn't know from where. It can't do directional focusing. It's just a dumb antenna. And the dumb antenna can't figure out that there's two different signals out of phase.
We're talking silence. Jamming it with silence.
So again, it's not silence. Obviously, you have to jam it with a signal, but the signal doesn't have to have any audio on it to effectively destroy the other signal, and that's all we're really, the capacity to receive the other signal. And that's exactly my point. You have no experimental evidence demonstrating that in the microwave experiment, no microwaves are getting to the antenna. You have no experimental evidence demonstrating that, because every single microwave experiment I've seen done, always depends on the fact that they put an audio signal on the microwave signal to hear an audio signal. So obviously the audio signal is dead when you jam the frequency, you've jammed the audio. So obviously you're not going to hear anything. But the signal's still getting there.
You can't add more particles and get silence.
That's not the point. That's not what jamming requires. So, but it is exactly what you can do, right? So he just says you can't add more signal and get silence. That's exactly what jamming the signal does. The original signal isn't destroyed. Your signal isn't destroyed. You're adding signal, and the addition of signal is destroying the original signal, and in a sense it's making it unreceivable as a signal. The energy is still received. It's just not in a form that can be deciphered by the transmitting device, the receiving device. That's all. The receiver can't receive it. I mean, I keep pointing this out, but it took Hertz 7 years to figure out how to detect radio waves. He knew they existed, and yet he had no way to tune one in. He had no way to feel the energy. It took him 7 years to figure out how to do it. And so we're still limited in the sense that we're not very good at it, in the sense that we have to create a whole harmonic thing and a stage of amplification to be able to receive radio energy. We can't just open our radio eyes and see the signal.
Only waves. Only the wave phenomena.
So again, I just pointed out how no, you could do it with bullets, you could do it with anything that comes at a frequency. It's a phase phenomenon. It has to do with timing. It has no dependency on any wave phenomenon at all.
With a negative trough can add to.
So by negative trough, again, the argument is all you need is a period. That is something, nothing, something, nothing. Cannonballs, basketballs, bowling balls. You could do it with anything that you could throw with a period between them.
Silence. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. So when you say obviously, it should mean something. You're obviously wrong. You're obviously completely wrong. Bowling balls don't wave down the alley. Bullets don't wave out of a gun. You're just fucking wrong. Geese don't wave. None of these things wave anywhere. They move with momentum. And when they're in a group, they can look like a wave of soldiers, right? Well, it looks like a wave. Okay, it looks like a wave, but we know it's not actually functioning as a wave. They're not pushing each other through a medium. One soldier doesn't push the ground in front of him, make the shoulder in front of him move. So we know that wave isn't a wave in a medium. There's no medium that makes the wave of soldiers move. So the whole thing is a bullshit for you to say everything at a period, everything with a frequency is a fucking wave. It's a bullshit statement. It's garbage as science. It's just a fucking pile of crap. It's such a lie. Such an obvious lie. Just like the electron having a frequency. An obvious lie.
Obviously.
In places where it's twice as loud, in places silent, twice as loud, it's because you're jamming it. And when you put an audio track on the base signal, the reason why it's twice as loud is because of the artifact of modulation. Modulation does that. It creates 4 times the amplification of the signal.
Light through there. Now, when you lower the energy down to the point that you're dealing with this constant issue.
So again, this isn't about lowering energy down. It's about lowering the number of photons. So, this is supposed to be a guy who defends Richard Feynman. Well, Richard Feynman would hate what you're saying here, because clearly he understands that you can't lower the intensity of the photons at all. They're always clumps. They're always hit with the same impact. All you can do is change the number of them. So again, it isn't anything like a wave, and he made that explicit point. This is evidence against wave theory, is the very fact that you can't tone the photon down. You can't.
I didn't listen to this part, actually. I'd love to hear this. I'd love to hear him respond and say Feynman was full of shit.
Turn it into half a photon or a quarter of a photon. You can't make a weak or strong wave.
So nothing. He doesn't say a fucking thing. It's just such bullshit. So why not explain it? Why don't you explain to me why Feynman took a half an hour to say absolutely nothing on the subject of magnetism? Well, 10 minutes, whatever it took him. Telling a damn story about old ladies slipping on ice instead of just pointing out how magnets work.
Whole units of energy.
When the obvious answer is he has no clue how the fucking thing works.
You start to see just a speck of light at a time.
Yeah, everything's made of the pieces that make it up. So clearly, any pattern of light is made up of a bunch of photons. I mean, the image on my screen is made of a bunch of pixels that are constantly being updated. This isn't brain surgery kind of stuff. I mean, who are you fooling? Come on, like, I want to turn it on. So again, this is just mush. They're going to pretend that's insightful somehow. They've done the experiment with single photons. Single photons land as individual clumps. They're clearly not interfering with each other in the two-slit experiment, so you have to figure they have to somehow be interfering with themselves. And that's where you get into your silly story that the single photon somehow knows to split into two. You go through the two slits, and then you have the contradiction where when now the split photons go through the single slit, somehow they don't Huygens now, because then you'd end up with 4 waves. So somehow single slits don't create the Huygens effect. So, you know, it doesn't fit. It's just garbage.
You know, the particle, the evidence of the particle.
All right, so he says nothing again, right? So, yeah, so he has no answer to these questions. So I could have said, if I did say in this video, well, they still haven't answered the question. Do single photons split in two to create wave interference? Or do different photons somehow interfere with each other? They still have provided no answer. Oh, so bad. Well, anyway, probably enough of a video. So I'll come back to this probably, because we still have a big hunk of it left. Yeah, I usually don't lose interest watching a video, but it was just so bad. I mean, it's totally unresponsive to any of the real issues and subjects, and it's just this dogma they preach. And again, you can just plead with them, well, can't you provide any more better reasoning? Can't you give me more than you say so? Because that's all I see you saying is you say there's an ether because everything is a wave when I know everything's not a wave. I mean, why would I believe something I just know there's no way everything's a wave? There's no way a single electron does not have a frequency. It's just crap. I mean, you can keep telling me it does, but I'm going to keep saying, prove it, demonstrate it, show me one piece of evidence where you can make this stupid claim, because you can't. All right, I guess we'll just save it since I'm here.